Good morning, everybody. This is Ed, and this is Let's Cook It. Welcome back. So today I'm going to put together something called slow cooker pasta. The ingredients are as follows. The recipe that I found uses 2 pounds of ground meat. However, I had a large roll of the ground beef. I had 3 pounds of it. I'm going to use all of that. So I'm going to add a little bit more additional ingredients since there's extra meat in it, because you want to make sure when you put the pasta and the beef in the slow cooker that there's enough liquid to cover the pasta so it cooks. All right, so I already did some of the prep work. I already browned the ground beef. So what I'm going to do is put the camera down here, and I'll tell you what I'm using. This is I think this is an 8-quart pressure cooker that also has a slow cooker function on it. That I'm going to use it because it's bigger and there's so much of it. I want to make sure the food's not crowded in there. So let's get started. There's the ground beef mixture. And I did saute some onions to go in that. Just kind of stir it around. And you'll want to add your cavatappi pasta. This is what they're using. You just want to put that in there. Now to this, you're going to add 2 24-ounce jars of tomato sauce. And it's kind of thick, but don't worry, we're not going to waste any of this. There's 1 jar. And another jar. Kind of making a mess here. That's all right. So to the jars of pasta sauce, I'm going to add some water, shake it up, and get the rest of the sauce out of there. Just like that. And water in the other jar. We'll shake it up. Get the water out of, or the sauce out of that too. Now, the original recipe called for 2 cups of water. But since there's extra meat, I'm using about 4 cups just to make sure everything is covered. So give this a stir. That's the meat, the onions, and the sauce and the pasta together. I think that looks pretty good. However, I'm going to add a can of diced tomatoes. Just gives it a little bit more liquid. Because, you know, as the pasta cooks, the liquid's going to get absorbed into that. Now to this, I'm going to add some spices. These herbs right here. I think this has all the Italian herbs in it that you're going to need. And I'm not really following any directions as far as seasonings go. Just add what you think is going to be good. Well, I think that looks pretty good. I don't know how much I put in there, but it's all right. Because as it cooks, the flavors of the spices and the herbs are going to come out and infuse into the rest of the dish. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And a little bit of cayenne just for a kick. There we go. That's enough. Now, I've never made this particular dish before, and even though it looks like the pasta is covered with the liquid, I'm tempted to add just a little bit more. So just put some water in one of those jars. Pour that in there. This will definitely thicken up as the starch cooks out of the pasta and into the mixture. Hopefully it's not going to be too thick. Hopefully it's not going to be too runny. But there you go. Sometimes cooking is trial and error. I'm going to push this back so we can get Sorry about that. The cheese mixture mixed here. Move the camera that way. This is an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. The recipe called for 4 ounces, but because there's additional ingredients in it, I'm just going to use the whole block. Now to this, I'm going to add half of this 15-ounce container of ricotta cheese. Maybe a little bit more than half. And then to this, I'm going to add about half of this 16-ounce container of sour cream, using a different spoon for that. Maybe a little bit extra, because you can't go wrong with extra dairy products. All right, you want to soften the cream cheese, of course, and you want to get it mixed up. I guess this is sort of like making lasagna, although there's no beaten egg in this. And also, this is an age-old question. Why is cream cheese packaged in those foil packets that you have to fight with? They don't hardly ever seem to open up evenly, and you get it all over your hands. Anyway, cream cheese is good, so I guess we'll just live with it. Kind of break up those chunks of the cream cheese in there so it spreads evenly. You know what? I'll tell you, here's what we're going to do. A bag of mozzarella cheese. We're going to get this mixed up. If it's a little bit too thick, I might add some more ricotta and some sour cream to this. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I'm getting stared at with my audience. I don't know. I think this looks pretty good. Because it says you're supposed to just dollop that on there. So I guess you don't want it too runny, I guess. And I'm just going to put in a little bit of the Parmesan cheese. Again, I'm not measuring anything as far as some of the ingredients goes. Stir that up. Smells pretty good already. I already started preheating this pressure cooker slash slow cooker slash whatever contraption you want to call it. There's a little bit of a story on this, and I'll tell you that in a second. Okay. Let's scrape that spoon, scrape both spoons, get all that off of there. Stir it up a little bit more. Now what you're going to do, you're going to put this back into the shot so you can see it. I had to rinse off this other spoon that I'm going to use. So according to the recipe, you just want to take the cheese mixture that you just made and just kind of put the cheese mixture on top just like this. You don't spread it because, of course, it's not going to spread because it's just going to sit on top of this mixture and cook. And then I suppose when you're getting ready to eat it, you just stir it up in there. I don't know. Never made it before. Now, the slow cooker function on this particular cooker starts at 4 hours. I could not reduce the time. So I'm just going to check it in 2 hours. and see how it looks and see how it tastes, see what the consistency is. Then we'll take it from there. The recipe that I found says you want to cook this for 1.5 hours on low. I'm going to go 2 since I did put extra ingredients in there. Let me see. I was going to tell you something else. Oh, the recipe that I am kind of going by is doing this in steps. I'm not going to do it in steps. I'm just going to make it like this. And because it involves cooking the meat and the pasta first, and then checking it, and then putting the cheese mixture on there. And, you know, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cook this all together. All right, a little story on this cooker that I found. A couple years ago, I had a Goodwill in a town about, I don't know, 40 minutes from here. Anyway, this is a Nesco slow cooker slash, it does a lot of things. Let me get my glasses on. Tell you what the functions are. Steam, slow cook, saute brown, rice, low pressure, high pressure, start, stop, all that good stuff. I have used this as a pressure cooker. It works great. You know, I think no matter what the brand name is, I've got a couple different brand names of slow cookers and these pressure cookers. They all work basically the same. The older models of these pressure cookers, I don't think have the slow cook setting. They might. I know one that I have does not, but I have a couple others that, you know, it's sort of like a multi-cooker. You can basically just cook whatever you want, however long you want. Okay. All right. So the story about the slow cooker is I saw this on the shelf and it didn't have a price on it. So I took it up to the cashier and I said, hey, this doesn't have a price. Do you know, are they going to have to put it back in the back and reprocess it and put another sticker on it? She said, nah, we won't mess with it. I'll give it to you for $6. I said, I'll pay for it right now so I can take it out to the car and put it in there. I don't know what these retail for brand new. I'm sure they're not $6. Anyway, this thing looked like it had never been used. The box was open and maybe it had been used a couple times. I don't know, but I couldn't pass it up. So I guess luck was on my side that day. All right, hang on just a second. Now we're going to get the lid and fight with it to put it back on this cooker and get the process started. This isn't going to steam, so I don't know. I don't know whether to fiddle around with the knob or not. Anyway, I'm just going to put the lid on there and we're going to get it started. Check it in 2 hours, come back, see how it turns out. Let's, again, fight with the lid. Surely I'm not the only one who fights with these pressure cooker lids. All right, got it on there. I'm going to put this on pause, come back in a couple hours, see what the results are, taste test it, and give my thoughts on it. Be back in just a little bit, folks. Stay tuned. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Ed, and this is Let's Cook It. I just checked on this slow cooker pasta dish. I just had one of the noodles out of it. They were absolutely perfect. Let's put the camera down so you can see what it looks like. Now, it really doesn't look too much different than when we first started. But anyway, I tasted it. I think it tastes pretty good. Now we're going to serve it up a little bit and see what we think about it. We'll get some of this cheese here. There we go. Look at that. Let's put that down in there. Doesn't look too bad, does it? All right. So let's move that back a little bit. I like a little pepper on my food, so let me get some pepper. Here we go. All right. Here it is in the bowl again. You'll notice the cheese didn't really run all over the place. It kind of stayed where I put it, which I think is perfect. And here's a shot of the noodles, the beef mixture, and the cheese, which went back into the bowl. I think this turned out really well. And I think this is a dish, if you like pasta, if you like lasagna-like type stuff, I think this is something that you would enjoy making. Let's get another bite. I think you could make this in the oven as well. Cover the dish with a lid or some foil. Bake it about the same amount of time. You'll be good to go. Now, I will tell you, the pasta has a little different texture. It's not chewy. It's not mushy. It is firm. But I think because it's cooked a little bit differently, instead of boiling it in water, it changes the texture a little bit. Again, not a lot, but it's something that I notice. But anyway, I think this turned out really well, and I think it's going to be a big success with Rich. And I'll fix him up a bowl of it in just a minute or two. All right, everybody. I've got tomorrow's menu planned. I've already been to the store while this was cooking. And it's something I haven't made before, but I saw a recipe, a video, and it looked really good. So I'm going to make a brave attempt at it and hope it turns out well. Okay, everyone. Have an awesome day. Be well, be safe, take care of yourself, take care of each other, be kind, love one another, all that good stuff. And enjoy your day. Get out and do something if you can. Today, that's my day off. I will be going outside. Get some of that sunshine and just enjoy the rest of the day, and maybe get into something later. I'm not sure. Maybe I won't get into anything at all, but just stay outside all day long. All right. Anyway, this is Ed. This is Let's Cook It. And if you'll hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell, that helps out the channel. As always, thank you for your support and love. I really do appreciate it. And as always, remember, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to taste good. This is Ed, and this is Let's Cook It. I'll see you tomorrow on the next video. Bye for now.